Hi, everyone. Welcome. So if you haven't already seen the message, just go ahead and grab a piece of paper and a pen before you get started. We're going to start in about a minute. All right. So thank you so much for joining me today. Some of you might have come last week, and hopefully, if you did, you're here again. And welcome to all the new people. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Dr. Ariane Missimer, and I'm the owner of the Movement Paradigm. And most importantly, during this time, I really just want to share this practice with you and hopefully give you some tools that you can use during this really, really challenging time. Obviously, everyone right now is experiencing a profound amount of stress and anxiety and depression for various reasons related to COVID-19. And what we want to think about as it relates to mindfulness is that we are all going to experience these emotions and these stressors, but we can change how we respond to things as opposed to react to things, and we can do it with more clarity and potentially even creativity when we have space to do that. So we're going to start with a practice called soles of the feet. So you can either be in a seated position in a chair, or you can stand up for this practice. So I'm just going to sit so everyone can kind of just follow along. So you want to just feel free to sit in an upright position with your feet connected to the ground. And you can feel free to close your eyes or keep your eyes open, really whatever feels comfortable to you. And I just want you to notice what physical sensations come up for you right now. So noticing any pain or tension in your body. Just kind of scanning your body. Some of them might jump out to you right away. Some of them you might have to look for, but just kind of noticing anything that comes up. Now noticing what emotions come up for you right now. So after the whole day, who knows what's happened today, what are the things that you are feeling right now? And just notice the quality of those feelings. Is it a strong sensation? Is it just a mild sensation? And then are there any thoughts that are coming and going or really at the forefront of your mind right now? And not necessarily changing any of these things or even attempting to change them, but just simply noticing what's happening. And then I'd like you to draw your attention to the soles of your feet. So I want you to think about the connection with the ground, feeling the heels in contact with the ground, feeling the natural arch of the foot, feeling the toes, the ball of the foot. You can even wiggle your toes for a little bit increased sensation in that area. And just noticing any information that's coming in through the bottom of the feet. And especially this contact, this rooting, this grounding. And just notice that for a few moments. And now I want you to return back to those initial emotions and thoughts and sensations that you had. And just notice if they feel any different to you than they did before you brought your awareness to your feet. And this can be a very, very simple practice. And it doesn't have to be done with the soles of your feet. However, what you did there was I took you from your busy, chaotic day, maybe lots of stressors and feelings and things that have come up, and you pause and bring your awareness or your attention to your body, into your body, using the feet simply as just an anchor, a way to actually feel the sensation of the ground, feel the connectedness, bringing your awareness and your attention to this. And then some of you may have experienced that the sensations that you felt initially before you did that weren't quite as strong as afterwards. Some of you might not have had that experience, but what I would encourage you to do is use this practice during the day, especially in stressful moments or situations, which seems like all of the time right now. But when you begin to feel that stress or anxiety, to actually use this exercise as a way to bring you, once again, an opportunity to respond, not disengage, not totally shut out your emotions, because that's the last thing that we want to do. We want to feel things, but it gives you an opportunity to pause so that you can respond with creativity and clarity. So hopefully this exercise was helpful. And like I said, feel free to use it at any time during the day. So we're gonna move into a seated meditation. For those of you that do not have any experience with seated meditation, that is okay. You can find a comfortable position once again. So you can either be seated in a chair, you can also sit on the floor, whatever feels comfortable. You can sit with your back against the wall, and you could even lie down, okay? So when you're ready, I'd like you to just find that comfortable position for you. Does not have to be in a seated position, but choose to lie down with your legs outstretched, or in a seated position, upright, dignified posture. And just noticing once again any thoughts that might come up for you right now. Remembering that we can never get rid of thoughts, and that is not our goal of meditation, but simply noticing the thoughts and then bringing our awareness back to our bodies. Noticing what emotions might arise. And not necessarily trying to change that, but just simply noticing what they are. And then, of course, any physical sensations. So do you notice any pain anywhere in your body? Or perhaps tension that you might not have even known it was there until you sat down. And now gently bringing your awareness to your breath. Noticing your in-breath and your out-breath. Noticing how on your in-breath, your abdomen expands, filling up like a big balloon. Then exhaling, deflating the balloon. Noticing if you get taller on your inhale. And simply riding the waves of your breath. Knowing that you can always come back to your breath as an anchor during this practice and during your life, just like the soles of the feet, to bring you back into your body. Remembering that when your thoughts do begin to wander, a way for you to be able to bring yourself back into this present moment can be through your own breath, your own life force. We breathe 20 to 25,000 times a day. So using this as your own superpower can be extremely valuable. Then gently moving your awareness to the bottom of your feet once again. Noticing the heels on the ground, the ball of the foot and the toes on the ground. If you're in a seated position. Noticing what temperature they feel like. Are they cool or perhaps warm? Feel free to wiggle your toes, bring awareness to them. Just noticing how that feels to you. And just like the breath, remembering that you can always come back to your feet as an anchor. Remembering it's the farthest thing in your body from your thoughts. And although we know that our thoughts aren't our reality, they do drive our emotions. Now gently moving your awareness to your pelvis and your hips. Noticing if there's any tension here. Anything that you might be holding. Coming back to your breath once again. Just notice how that's feeling for your body. Once again, riding the waves of your breath. And noticing any sounds in your room. Cars driving by, sirens, rain, perhaps a fan, maybe even your own breath. Remembering that you can always come back to sounds as yet another anchor. When you go down the rabbit hole of wandering thoughts, using your senses, using your hearing, the sounds in the room to bring you back. Once again, noticing how you're feeling, your emotions, your thoughts, your physical sensations. Thanking yourself for taking this time to simply just sit and be. When you're ready, just if your eyes are closed, just gently opening them, coming back to the room. And what I'd love for you to do is, with your pen and paper, to just do a little reflection. So when we're doing mindfulness practices, we're able to share with each other what we're feeling and what was our experience. And a lot of times what I find is that we often tend to compare our experience to something else that might have happened. And it's really important to just know what happened in that 5-minute meditation. So what I'd like you to write down is what emotions you had, what thoughts you had, and then how did your body feel? So any bodily sensations. So there's no right or wrong. It could be any emotion, any thought. Sometimes they're going to be different. So for example, you might have thought about what you're going to do for work, or you might have thought about, I have to call somebody. So that could have been a thought that came up for you. So whatever that was, or multiple, write those down, what emotions you had, and then what physical sensations you had. So perhaps my hip started to hurt during that practice. So I'll just give you a minute or two. Sometimes this is the hardest part. Good. So when we are practicing, and it doesn't matter if it's a formal meditation like the one you just did, or it's even an informal practice, one of the most important aspects is really just paying attention. So mindfulness is paying attention on purpose in the present moment without judgment. So it's not necessarily saying that I should feel a certain way, or this should have happened, or I can't meditate. It's really just simply about acknowledging what happened in your experience and paying attention. It's the simplest way to say it. So the more that we can all pay attention to our feelings, pay attention to what our body needs, pay attention to what we're thinking, all of these things are really powerful, and it gives us this opportunity to once again respond and not necessarily react. So we're going to move into one more practice, which is a body scan. And the body scan is, a lot of times for people that are just beginning to meditate, can be a little bit of an easier practice. If you've already been meditating, sometimes it can just be a really nice shift from what you're already doing. So for this practice, typically it is done in a lying down position with your arms outstretched. However, you can do it from a seated position or wherever you feel comfortable. So I'll let you kind of take a moment to get situated. You do want to be comfortable. So if you want to grab a blanket, I want to grab a blanket right now, freezing. If you want to grab a blanket or a pillow even, whatever is good for you. I will use the bell at the end. So I don't want to scare anybody, but in case anyone falls asleep, there's a chance. Don't worry, you'll wake up. So once you feel like you have a comfortable position, we will get started. So if you are lying down with your arms outstretched, eyes opened or closed, just finding this comfortable position right here in the middle of your life. Bringing your awareness to your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Controlling it only if that feels right to you. Noticing the temperature of the air that's entering and leaving the body. Is it cool or warm? Noticing the difference if you breathe in through your nose versus breathing in through your mouth. Just noticing the difference in the temperature and how it feels when you do that. Gently bring your awareness to the top of your head. Is there any pressure here? Any tingling? Any thoughts that come up? Is there a headache even? Moving your awareness to your forehead. Noticing any tension here, frowning, or does it feel relaxed? Changing that only if that feels right to you. Noticing your eyes, and if they are closed, how much pressure does it take to keep them closed? Noticing your cheeks. What expression do you have on their face right now? Perhaps you could smile and just see how that feels for your body. Bringing your awareness to your jaw. Is there any tension here or clenching of the teeth? Possibly trying to just gently open your jaw and seeing how that feels for your body. Noticing how it can change your entire structure. Noticing your tongue position. Is it touching the back of your teeth? Or perhaps your mouth is open. Moving gently to the neck and shoulders. Seeing if there's any notable tension here. Any pain. Do you feel your breath in your neck? And moving your awareness to your shoulders. Just noticing the contact with the ground, or perhaps there's no contact. Noticing the pull of gravity on your arms as you bring your attention to your wrist and your hands. Noticing how they feel without the lack of contact that they normally have. Noticing them in contact with the ground or even your lap if you're seated. Remembering that you can always have contact. Just might be with yourself. Noticing your heartbeat. Can you sense it? Is it fast or slow? Gently moving to the inside of the abdomen. Your intuition. Remembering that this is 70% of our immune system. It's 90% of our feel-good transmitters. Remembering how important this is for our body and our health and our mind. And just noticing how it feels to you right now. Bringing your awareness to your hips. Can you notice your pulse here? Perhaps you can notice your breath moving into the abdomen. Noticing if that pressure goes all the way down to the pelvis. Gently moving to your legs. Remembering that these are what push you through day in and day out. How do they feel to you right now? Strong or weak? Tight or even loose? And coming back to your feet once again. Do they feel any different to you this time? Now gently bring your awareness to your entire body, from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. Being in the totality of this experience right now. Thanking yourself for dedicating this time. Dedicating this time to healing your body through this ever so challenging time. Remembering that this can help bring you clarity. Simply paying attention on purpose in the present moment without judgment. So when you're ready, you can feel free to gently come back into the room. And then when you feel like you're ready, I'd like you to also do a quick reflection on this practice and the same idea. Just write down what emotions you had, what thoughts might have come up, and what physical sensations you noticed. So I'll just give you a couple minutes and then we will wrap up. All right, so if you didn't get a chance to do it, you can feel free to come back to it. I just want to respect your time. So just in summary, what I wanted to leave you with is to really think about having something, whether it's the soles of the feet, which is what we practiced today, or the breath, to use as a way to bring yourself back to the present when you begin to have these wandering thoughts. Remembering that our thoughts are not our reality, but our thoughts are what evoke emotions. And when we think something, we have a perceived stress or threat, then it evokes an emotion of stress or anxiety. And then we feel that in our physical body. So whether that comes up as a headache or that's shoulder pain or whatever it may be, a little stomach issue. So instead of disengaging from those things, from those feelings or emotions that arise, we want to think about kind of addressing them head on, acknowledging them, paying attention to them, but then using the pause, so let's say in this case our feet or our breath, as a way to respond with clarity and creativity as opposed to react. So I hope this was helpful. Please, if you, I have a chat box open, so if anybody has any questions, you can feel free to type it in. Like once again, I just want to appreciate that you taking the time. I'm going to do these weekly for, I don't know, as long as long as all of this craziness is going on. So thank you so much. And let's see if there's any questions or comments. You can feel free to leave a comment as well. Okay. Oh, you're welcome, Kim. You're welcome, Carol. Good. Oh, good. Totally need this day. We all need this every day. Good. Oh, you're welcome, Jean. Okay. Well, oh, good. Oh, Tori, thank you so much. Great. Oh, thanks, Carol. Mary Jo, yay, we're such a great group. Shrey, thank you. Awesome. All right, so I will send out, thank you, Michelle. I will send out another recording of these. So I will send this out tomorrow and I'll send you 2 guided meditations. That way you can use these for practice, and I will do another one next week. So just stay tuned for the next date. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Amy. Yay. Oh, it was our first experience. Oh, good. Thank you. Good. All right. Have a great night, everyone, and I will see you hopefully next week. Bye. Oh, the Heplands. Sorry, I could just stay on here. Hi, guys.